Hey there and welcome. I'm Israel Greatmind Joshua, and today we're jumping straight into the critical world of cybersecurity for our essential systems. Think of this as your field guide for becoming a cyber guardian, someone right there on the front lines, protecting the very backbone of our society. You ready to begin your training? Let's do this. Look, this isn't just some professional responsibility. It's a mission. The systems we're about to discuss are kind of like the invisible architecture of our daily lives. Protecting them is one of the most important things we can possibly do. So let's get you briefed on what that actually entails. So here's our game plan for today. We're going to start by understanding the battlefield, then we'll get to know our enemy, map the terrain we're defending, and then I'll equip you with the Guardian's Toolkit. After that, we'll run through some hands-on training scenarios, and finally, take a look at the future of defense.
First up, the invisible battlefield. Before we can even think about defending the terrain, we need to understand exactly what we're protecting and why it's so incredibly critical.
So, what exactly is critical infrastructure? Well, the formal definition is right there. These are the systems that are so essential that if they go down, the impact is, debilitating. Just think of it as the invisible backbone of our society. And if one little piece fails, it can trigger a huge domino effect that hits our security, our economy, and our public safety. To make this real, let's look at the 6 key sectors you'll be protecting. We're talking about the power grid that's charging your phone right now, the water supply that comes into your home, the transportation networks that move everything around, and even the telecommunication systems that are carrying this very message to you. They're all deeply interconnected, which of course makes them deeply vulnerable. This right here, this really drives home what's at stake. A cyber attack on these systems isn't just about stealing data. It's about causing real-world physical harm. A single breach in a power grid could cause nationwide blackouts. That means hospitals are crippled, businesses shut down, and emergency services are disrupted. The consequences are immediate and they are incredibly severe.
Okay, let's move on. To be an effective guardian, you have to know your enemy. So, who are these attackers, and what really motivates them?
This table gives us a great breakdown of who we're up against. You've got nation-state actors, and they're playing those big geopolitical games. Then you have cybercriminal groups, who are in it for one thing, financial gain. You've also got terrorist organizations trying to cause widespread disruption and fear, and hacktivists who are pushing a social or political agenda. Each one has a completely different playbook.
If you ever doubt that lines of code can have real physical power, you just have to look at Stuxnet. This was an absolute game changer. It was a highly sophisticated piece of malware that didn't just steal data. It actually crossed the digital-physical divide to cause real physical damage to centrifuges in a nuclear facility. This proved for the very first time that a cyber weapon could cause real-world destruction.
Okay, time to map the terrain. Understanding our battlefield means knowing its weaknesses. This includes vulnerabilities in old, legacy systems that were never designed to be online in the first place, as well as all the brand new connected tech we're adding every single day.
At the very heart of our critical infrastructure are what we call Industrial Control Systems, or ICS. This includes systems like SCADA, which you can pretty much think of as the central nervous system for our power plants and factories. They are the digital brains that remotely monitor and control these massive physical operations.
And this brings us to a crucial point. We're basically fighting a war on 2 fronts. On one side, you have these legacy ICS systems. Some are decades old, and they were never built with modern security in mind. On the other side, you've got this explosion of modern Internet of Things devices, like smart meters and connected traffic lights, which just massively expands the surface area an attacker can hit.
This gives us a perfect comparison of that evolution. Stuxnet was like a surgical strike, highly targeted at specific industrial controllers for physical sabotage. Now, contrast that with the Mirai botnet. That was more like a brute force attack. It hijacked thousands of unsecured IoT devices like cameras and routers and weaponized them to launch massive attacks that took down huge sections of the internet. This shows the shift from targeted sabotage to just widespread, indiscriminate chaos. All right, we understand the stakes, we know the enemy, and we've mapped the terrain. Now let's equip you with the Guardian's Toolkit. This section is all about the strategies and technologies we use to defend these critical systems.
One of a Guardian's most powerful new allies is artificial intelligence.
The best way to think of AI is as a tireless digital watchman. It learns a baseline of what normal network activity looks like, which lets it detect any weird patterns or anomalies in real time, often way faster than any human could. It can alert operators to a potential attack before significant damage occurs and can even predict when equipment might fail.
But it's not just about technology. Strategy is crucial. The goal is resilience. It's not just about building walls to keep attackers out. It's about being able to take a hit and get back up fast. We do this with strategies like network segmentation to contain breaches, having redundant infrastructure to act as a failsafe, doing regular backups for quick restoration, and of course, continuous monitoring.
And remember, no Guardian works alone. Most of our critical infrastructure is privately owned, but protecting it is a national security issue. That's why collaboration is absolutely essential. Agencies like CISA, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, exist to build these partnerships between the government and private industry. When we share threat intelligence, everybody gets stronger.
Theory is one thing, but practice is where it really counts. So, welcome to the training ground. Here, we're going to apply what you've learned in a few simulated scenarios. It's time to get hands-on.
First up, let's say you're securing a city's smart traffic grid. The risks here are things like unauthorized remote access or vulnerable IoT traffic lights. So, how would you defend it? Well, you'd analyze the ways an attacker could get in, and then you'd propose controls like firewalls, encryption, and strict access controls to lock down the network.
Okay, Lab 2, a simplified industrial network. We map the system from the control center all the way down to the machines. The question is, where are the weak points? Where could an attacker intercept or change the commands? Your job as a Guardian is to propose defenses, like network segmentation to isolate these different parts, and continuous monitoring at every single point in the chain.
For Lab 3, we've got a full-blown crisis, a ransomware incident. Check out this timeline. At hour 0, the breach happens from a single phishing email. Just 4 hours later, operators have already lost remote control of the power distribution system. This shows you just how fast things can escalate. The key here is the response, initiating containment protocols and starting to recover from backups. Having a solid plan is everything.
We're nearing the end of your initial training. So now, let's look ahead to the future of defense and your evolving role as a Guardian in all of this.
I really want this to sink in. Your mission, if you choose to continue down this path, is to protect the backbone of modern civilization. This is a responsibility that goes way beyond any single company or network. It affects the safety and stability of entire societies.
And that brings us to a final crucial question. As AI gets more sophisticated and starts automating a lot of our defense, what becomes the unique and irreplaceable role of the human Guardian? It's a huge question, and it's one you'll be helping to answer throughout your career.
Your initial training is now complete, but the mission is really just beginning. In our next field guide, Chapter 15, we're going to escalate the scope and explore the complex world of cyber warfare, AI-driven attacks, and the future of global security. So, to continue your training, signal that you're ready for the next phase by liking this briefing. Make sure you subscribe to get all future field guides, and share this with others who you think need to join the mission. We need every Guardian we can get. Welcome to the front lines.